That night under the bridge was supposed to end Christabel's life. Instead, it changed it. But what happens when a girl rescued from darkness becomes the weakness of a billionaire? When the internet turns love into scandal? When the boardroom plots quietly? When family loyalty clashes with forbidden feelings? And when jealousy walks freely inside a glass-walled penthouse? Will Desmond choose his empire, or the girl Lagos tried to erase? And what secret is Christabel hiding that could destroy everything? The war has only just begun. If this story hooked you, don't stop here. Like to support the story, subscribe, so you don't miss the next chapter. Comment if you're Team Christabel or Team Desmond. More romance, more betrayal, more Lagos Wahala. Next part of the story, coming soon. Christabel Adeyemi had never imagined that her life would end or begin on a night like this. The argument started as it always did, quietly, then dangerously loud. "You think we don't see you?" her mother said, arms crossed, eyes sharp. The small sitting room smelled of hot stew and anger. "All your mates are married, some even have children, and you're here pressing phone like small girl." Christabel stood near the doorway, fingers trembling. "Mama, I'm trying. I've applied for jobs. I just need time." "Time?" her father echoed, finally looking up from his chair. "Time has passed you. At 23, you're still eating in my house without a husband's name." Her chest tightened. "Marriage is not something I can rush." "Get out." The word landed like a slap. Her mother opened the door wide. "Since you know book and independence, go and face life." Christabel looked around the room, at the cracked wall, the old sofa, the memories that once felt like home. "Please," she whispered. Her father turned his face away. She picked up her small nylon bag and stepped into the night. Lagos didn't wait for broken hearts. The streets were alive. Danfo horns blaring, streetlights flickering, people laughing as if the world was fair. Christabel walked without direction, her tears mixing with sweat as the night grew colder. By the time rain started falling, she was already exhausted. Her slippers slapped against the wet road as she wandered closer to the dark underside of 3rd Mainland Bridge. Cars rushed past above, unaware of the girl slowly losing hope beneath them. That was when she sensed she wasn't alone. "Fine girl." Her heart skipped. "Why you dey waka alone this night?" She turned sharply. 3 boys stepped out from the shadows. Their eyes roamed her body in a way that made her stomach churn. "I'm not interested," she said, forcing strength into her voice. "Please let me pass." One laughed. "Relax now. We just want to help you." Hands grabbed her arm. She screamed. The rain drowned her voice. One of them pulled her bag away. Another pinned her wrist. The smell of alcohol burned her nose. "A beg," she cried. "Please." Not far away, a black SUV slowed. Inside, Desmond Okori leaned back against plush leather seats, his mind far from bridges and broken girls. Lagos nightlife waited for him. Music, laughter, escape. Then he heard it. "Stop the car," he said sharply. The driver hesitated. "Sir?" "I said stop." Tunde, his bodyguard, was already scanning the darkness. "I heard a scream." They stepped out into the rain. "What's going on here?" Tunde's voice boomed. Chaos erupted. 2 bodyguards moved fast, trained, merciless. One boy ran. Another slipped in the mud. The third dropped to his knees, begging. Christabel collapsed, sobbing uncontrollably. Desmond walked toward her, his expensive shoes sinking slightly into the wet ground. He removed his jacket without hesitation and wrapped it around her trembling shoulders. "You're safe now," he said quietly. She looked up at him, eyes red, lips shaking. "Thank you, sir." For the first time that night, she breathed. Later, seated in the back of the SUV, Christabel stared out the window, rain streaking down the glass like tears she hadn't finished crying. "Where are you going?" Desmond asked gently. She swallowed. I don't know." He studied her, torn dress, frightened eyes, dignity bruised but not broken. Outside, Lagos continued its noise. Inside the car, a different story had just begun. The car didn't stop where Christabel expected. As the black SUV rolled into Victoria Island, neon lights splashed across the windows. Music thumped in the distance, bass heavy, confident, alive. Christabel's fingers tightened around the edge of the seat. "Sir, where are we?" she asked softly. Desmond glanced at his watch. Past midnight. Too late for hotels. Too late for boutiques. Too late to drop a traumatized girl back onto the streets of Lagos. "A club," he replied calmly. Her eyes widened. "A club?" "Just for a while," he added. "You'll be safe." Safe. The word followed her as the car pulled up in front of one of Lagos' most exclusive clubs. Valets rushed forward. Security bowed slightly. The doors opened like they recognized him. Christabel stepped out slowly, rain-soaked slippers meeting polished tiles. She felt small, invisible, loudly out of place. Inside, the club glowed. Black marble floors, gold railings, modern Nigerian art lining the walls. Crystal lights hung low, reflecting off champagne glasses and designer outfits. She clutched Desmond's jacket tighter. The stares came instantly. People looked her up and down without shame. "Who's that? Is she okay? Why is Desmond with that?" Christabel felt heat crawl up her neck. She wanted to disappear. Desmond noticed. Without saying a word, he placed a hand lightly at her back and guided her toward the bar. "Sit," he said gently. The bartender froze when he saw her, then quickly masked it. "What will you have, sir?" "Soft drinks," Desmond replied, chilled. Christabel wrapped her fingers around the cold glass when it arrived, grounding herself. "This place is too much," she whispered. "I shouldn't be here." Desmond leaned closer so only she could hear. "Lagos has a habit of measuring people by clothes. Don't let it measure your worth." She swallowed hard. Laughter erupted behind them. A woman in a shimmering dress leaned toward her friends. "Maybe she's his charity case," someone else scoffed, "or village donation." Christabel's eyes stung. She stared into her drink, pretending not to hear. Desmond heard everything. When his friends approached, one of them laughed awkwardly. "Guy, want to explain this one?" Desmond didn't smile. "Explain what?" "The situation." "She's with me," he said simply. "That's all you need to know." The mood shifted. No one pressed further. Christabel glanced at him, surprised. "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." Time passed slowly. Music played. Bottles popped. Life went on around her, but Christabel felt frozen, like a guest in a world that had already decided she didn't belong. "I think people hate me," she said quietly. Desmond raised an eyebrow. "Good. It means you're doing something right." That made her laugh. Soft, unexpected. For a moment, the weight lifted. Then a phone camera flashed. Someone had taken a picture. Desmond saw it. His jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Not yet. The whispers followed them all the way to the door. By morning, those whispers would scream. But for now, as the car pulled away, Christabel rested her head against the seat, exhaustion catching up with her. "Thank you," she murmured, "for not abandoning me." Desmond looked out at the city lights. "Lagos has enough abandoners. I won't be one of them." The penthouse awaited them, quiet, warm, safe. But somewhere in the city, scandal was already being drafted. Christabel had never seen silence look so expensive. The elevator doors opened directly into the penthouse, and she froze. Floor-to-ceiling glass walls revealed Lagos sleeping beneath them, city lights blinking like distant stars. The interior was warm and modern. Cream walls, soft beige sofas, dark wood accents, carefully placed indoor plants, and abstract Nigerian artwork that whispered wealth without shouting. She stepped inside slowly, afraid to dirty the marble floor with her worn slippers. "This place," she breathed. "It's beautiful." Desmond loosened his cufflinks. "It's just a house." She laughed weakly. "This is not just a house where I'm from." He gestured down the hallway. "Guest room is there, bathroom inside, fresh towels, you can rest." She hesitated. "Sir, Desmond, thank you. I don't even know how to repay you." He met her eyes. "By sleeping. You look like you've been fighting life since morning." That made her smile. The guest room felt like a hotel suite. Neutral colors, soft lighting, a bed that looked too perfect to sit on. Christabel stood there for a full minute before finally sinking onto it. For the first time since being chased out, she cried freely. Not loud, just quiet tears soaking into expensive pillows that didn't judge her. Morning didn't come gently. Christabel woke up to the smell of coffee and distant voices. She padded quietly into the living room. Desmond stood near the glass wall, phone pressed to his ear, jaw tight. "Damage control," he said sharply. "You people should have anticipated this." He noticed her and lowered his voice. "We'll talk later." Her phone, an old cracked thing, buzzed. One message, then 10, then too many. She opened social media. Her breath caught. Trending. Billionaire Desmond Okorie and mystery girl beggar or girlfriend. Lagos asks, from under the bridge to the club. There was a picture, her picture, at the bar, in torn clothes, holding a soft drink, like she didn't belong. Her hand started shaking. "I'm sorry," she whispered when Desmond approached. "I've ruined your life." Desmond scoffed. "If this can ruin my life, then my life was too small to begin with." "But your company, your reputation." "My reputation survived worse," he said calmly. "Sit." She obeyed. Boardroom versus billionaire. Across town, glass walls echoed with outrage. "This is unacceptable," one board member snapped. "Investors are calling non-stop. He's become emotional." Desmond listened, expression unreadable. "You want me to apologize," he finally said, "for helping someone who was about to be raped?" Silence. "I won't," he added. Meeting adjourned. Family wahala. At home, the tension was thicker. His mother stood with folded arms. "Desmond, what exactly do you want to do with that girl?" "She's staying," he replied. "People are saying she's using you." Desmond's voice hardened. "People always say nonsense." His father sighed. "Be careful. Feelings make even the smartest men foolish." Desmond didn't respond. Fear, jealousy, and a small smile. Later that day, Christabel sat alone in the living room, scrolling comments she shouldn't be reading. "She looks dirty. Village girl wants to cash out. He'll regret this." Tears blurred her vision. "You're reading rubbish again, Abby," Desmond said, appearing with 2 cups of tea. She sniffed. "Maybe I should leave, before things get worse." He placed a cup in front of her. "And go where?" She had no answer. He sat beside her, close but respectful. "Christabel, Lagos will always attack what it doesn't understand. Don't let it chase you again." She looked at him, eyes red. "Why are you so stubborn?" He smiled slightly. "I'm a billionaire. It's part of the job description." She laughed through her tears. That laugh, small, fragile, made something settle in his chest. Outside, the city buzzed. Online, enemies multiplied. Inside the penthouse, 2 strangers sat quietly, bound by a night Lagos would never forget. And somewhere in that silence, jealousy was already finding its way in. By evening, Lagos had not calmed down. If anything, it had grown louder. Desmond stood by the window, phone pressed to his ear, while Christabel sat quietly on the couch, knees drawn close, watching him pace across the living room with controlled irritation. "Cancel my remaining meetings," he said. "I'll reschedule when this noise dies down." He ended the call and exhaled slowly. "You've been fighting battles since morning," Christabel said softly. He turned to her. "So have you." There was a pause, one of those pauses heavy with things unsaid. "Get dressed," Desmond finally said. "We're going out." Her eyes widened. "Out? After all this?" "Yes, you need clothes, proper ones, and I need fresh air before I start yelling at Lagos itself." She smiled despite herself. The boutique moment. The boutique was quiet, closed to the public, lights glowing softly. Mannequins stood dressed in elegance, mirrors reflecting a version of Christabel she hadn't met yet. Designers greeted Desmond with forced smiles and curiosity-filled eyes. Christabel stepped out of the dressing room in a flowing silk dress, simple, elegant, hugging her gently. Her hair was neatly styled, makeup soft and natural. Desmond froze. For a brief moment, the billionaire forgot the boardroom, the internet, the noise. "You look." He stopped, then chuckled lightly. "Dangerous." She laughed nervously. "In a good way?" "In a way that will cause trouble," he replied. Their eyes met in the mirror. Something shifted. The staff noticed it too, Jealousy comes home. Back at the penthouse, the atmosphere had changed. Staff exchanged glances. A relative visiting suddenly remembered they had somewhere else to be. Whispers crawled along the walls. Christabel felt it immediately. "She fits too quickly," someone murmured. "She's getting comfortable." Christabel retreated to the guest room, the earlier confidence dissolving. Desmond followed her later, knocking softly. "You're hiding," he said. She sat on the edge of the bed. "Everyone is watching me like I stole something." He leaned against the doorframe. "You didn't steal anything. I feel like I don't belong here." He walked closer. "Belonging is not given by people, it's decided." She looked up at him. "And what if I don't know where I belong anymore?" The vulnerability in her voice cracked something in him. He sat beside her. Silence stretched, comfortable, charged. "The moment. I shouldn't have taken you to the club," he said quietly. "I shouldn't have walked under that bridge," she replied. They laughed softly. His hand brushed hers accidentally. Neither moved away. "Christabel," he began. She looked at him, eyes steady. "Desmond, I'm tired of being strong." That was all it took. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. The kiss was gentle at first, hesitant, searching, then deepened with months of unspoken loneliness and relief. It wasn't rushed, it wasn't reckless, it felt earned. The world outside the penthouse ceased to exist. Two broken timelines collided, and somewhere between whispered words, shared warmth, and the quiet comfort of not being alone, a line was crossed, softly, willingly. By morning, nothing would be the same. After Christabel woke up wrapped in white sheets, sunlight filtering through sheer curtains. For a second, panic fluttered. Then she felt his arm. Desmond was still asleep, peaceful in a way she hadn't seen before. Reality crept in. Boardrooms, parents, scandals, regret. She slipped out of bed quietly, heart pounding, not with fear, but with the weight of what they had done. Love, or something dangerously close to it, had entered the room, and Lagos would not forgive easily. Christabel woke up wrapped in luxury. But Lagos was already awake with whispers. The internet was on fire. Boardrooms were plotting. Family loyalty was turning into weapons. And someone dangerous, was watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Can love survive when the world is against you? Can a billionaire protect a girl everyone wants to destroy? Or will one night of intimacy change everything, forever? If you're hooked, don't miss what happens next. Like to show your support, subscribe so you get every part of the story as it drops. Comment below. Are you Team Christabel or Team Desmond? Love, scandal, and betrayal. Lagos never sleeps, and neither should you. Next part coming soon.